welcome back to Am I the Patient? This episode is titled Emotional Labor Costs Extra, Why Being the Quote-Unquote Strong One Shouldn't Come Without Compensation. Y'all, let's get into it. Raw conversations, real feelings, and no copay. This is Am I the Patient? Y'all, we're back. And I'm filming these episodes back to back. So I took a break. I ate something. I'm actually really proud. I had some beef marinating in the fridge for like a couple days because I've been trying to do some stay at home, some make at home bulgogi beef. And I think I did a pretty good job because it came out pretty good. So I made that, and then I did some a minute rice, brown rice. Sometimes you need quick meals, and it actually came out so good, and it was so filling, and low-key made me feel like, oh my gosh, is she dieting? But no, the meal was really, really good though. So I did that, and in between, I also did find that letter from episode 1. I'm referring to the letter we talked about that was to my dad in my Am I the Patient moment from episode 1. So if you haven't listened, go back and listen to it, and you'll hear me talk about that letter. So I did find that letter. I read it to myself and cried a lot. And I would love to read it on air for the podcast, but it just feels out of place if I just read it right now. And I just want everything to be kind of smooth. So I will include it in a future episode. I won't forget, where it feels more in place. So anywho, enough of me blabbering, enough of the intro. Let's get into today's topic. So today we're talking about emotional labor. So have you heard this term? What is it? So I wanted to start with just defining what it is. So mental labor, with the definition by Google, by way of, I believe it's Oxford Dictionary, says that the mental activity required to manage or perform the routine tasks necessary for maintaining relationships and ensuring smooth running of a household or process, typically regarded as an unappreciated or unacknowledged burden. So you usually see it in the professional world. So an example of that could be a cashier who smiles and soothes an angry customer who wasn't happy with their meal, or a mom who gently, gentle parents her toddler who's having a tantrum. Or a dad just can't deal with it. Or when a dad can't deal with it, my bad. And then a woman who visits her sick father-in-law in the hospital because her partner can't go without feeling upset. So she chooses to take that burden and goes to visit her father-in-law. So those are a few examples of some emotional labor and how sometimes it goes beyond being an empath. It's doing something to soothe or to make other people's emotions feel comfortable, or I'm trying to put it in a term that's easy to remember. So that's what emotional labor is. You can see it, like I said, typically you see it in the professional world, so corporate world, and to satisfy the uppers, you do something that's taxing for you. You'll see it in the professional field. But I wanted to talk about how it shows up in friendships and with family, or romantic relationships, and most importantly, like in the therapy room. So if you have ever, taking on, we can use the word burden, taking on that emotional burden for someone because, I don't know, they were just too stubborn to take the load, or they just didn't want to deal with it, or they didn't want to carry it. So you took it on and you said, you know what, I'll carry it for you. that's when I guess it becomes emotional labor. So there is a difference between genuine care and empathy, like we talked about. All of us can be empathetic. Emphatic, is that a word? I don't think, I'm making up stuff. Empathetic. We'll say empathetic. And all of us can care and be empathetic towards our friends and our families and our partners and other people around us. But when it gets to the point where it's unpaid emotional management or emotional labor, that's when it becomes taxing. That's when it takes a toll on you, and that's when it becomes harmful. I don't want to say harmful, like, oh my gosh, this is going to kill you. But it can be harmful. It's harmful to your psyche. Just looking at it from a therapist's perspective, just having empathy for your clients sometimes isn't enough. And sometimes we do get drawn into the conflict of our clients and the emotional burden that they're carrying. And I can't even tell you, how many times I've had clients sit across from me on a couch with a box of Kleenex, crying, telling me what they're going through, and I couldn't do anything, and I would just wish so bad that I could just take that from them. Like, I'm so sorry. I wish that I could carry it for you. So from a therapist's perspective, yes, we're empathetic. No, I can't take that burden from you. Outside of the therapy room, other people, I don't know, you have to look inward. Are you the patient? Will take those burdens and they will carry them. They will take that load just to keep the peace, just to keep another person happy, just to keep the atmosphere, the vibe, the environment calm. So being a therapist and having empathy for my clients, let me tell you, is a lot different than being a therapist and just going back to my, I guess, regular non-therapist life and being that quote unquote therapist friend to my friends. Some people might say, oh, it's a double shift. And personally, it can be. It can be a double shift. I know I have this friend and I love her to death, but she is probably the best example in this scenario. She's going through some stuff, obviously. I mean, who isn't? That's why we're here. That's why we're listening. That's why I have this podcast. That's why this exists. But she has she's struggling with some stuff, and usually, I mean, as a friend, obviously I'm going to be there for my friend, but she blatantly says, like, okay, can you be my therapist for a second? Can you look at this from a therapist perspective? And so as a friend, so I've learned, okay, let me backtrack. In my profession, sometimes it's hard to turn off the therapist's brain, so to speak. So we learn through reflection and through supervision how to keep work coming home with us, keep work at work, which can be very difficult. I've learned I'm a lot better at it. Sometimes some clients in some cases just stick with you and they just go home with you, and that's just the nature of the game. Whatever. But I've gotten a lot better at that. So when I'm at home and I'm doing my own thing and I'm in my own personal life, I don't necessarily have my therapist's brain on. Now, as a sidetrack, I will tell you, my therapist's brain does come back on. When I swear, when I see shows like Love After Lockup, what's the other one? 90 Day Fiance. When I'm watching a movie and there's a therapist scene or any type of, like, I don't know, like like therapeutic-esque vibe, I swear it does come back out. But I mean, I mentioned those shows because those are ones that I have seen, but yeah, it does come out. So anyway, getting back on track, I've gotten better at switching my therapist's brain off. So when I'm in my personal life, for the most part, I don't necessarily therapize people. So when my friend, she blatantly said, people ask for advice, but she blatantly says like, hey, I need you to look at this as a therapist, or if I was your client, what would you say? Or as a therapist, give me your professional advice. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I do this 40 days, 40 and 40 nights. No, I do this not 40 hours a week, because that'd be crazy, but so many hours during the week between, paperwork and whatnot. But I see clients every day, or I used to see clients. Like I said before, I switched jobs, so I'm doing work that's completely different. But I used to see clients every single day. I want to come home, and I just want to come home. If I want to hang out with you and have self-care and let us enjoy, usually we're having these type of conversations over dinner. So we're like in the middle of a cheesecake factory talking about like a relationship, or how to set boundaries, or what's the meaning of life? What is my purpose? How do I know I'm making the right decisions? These are all topics that she has like approached me with, and like asking for my therapeutic opinion. So it's a little bizarre, and it's like, I just really want to enjoy this Arnold Palmer. I really just want to enjoy my triple Oreo chocolate cheesecake. Like, is that okay? I say that because, I don't know, I saw a TikTok I'm getting off track, but I'm sorry. I saw a TikTok of someone having like a solo date, I guess, quote unquote, at the Cheesecake Factory. And I'm like, I've been thinking about the Cheesecake Factory ever since. I'm like, I should just go on a solo date to Cheesecake Factory. But we'll see. But anyway, so I'm just like, I don't want to therapy. Is that okay? So a part of me is like, yes, it could be a double shift, but at the same time, you also have to know, like, as a therapist, you can't turn it off. So I can be empathetic, but I won't take on the emotional labor. So, how do we stop being everyone's unpaid emotional support hotline? How do we do it? How do we protect our peace? I mean, there's no simple answer because everyone's different. People react different to different things. But one way to do that is learning how to say no. Like, I know it is so hard. Even to this day, I still have trouble saying no, depending on what it is. But I've gotten so much better at saying no. But I know, I get it. It's so hard. Setting boundaries literally could be an episode in and of itself. But learning to say no. There's a couple of quotes you could use, or a couple of phrases that you could say to say no. You don't have to be rude about it. You don't have to yell. You don't have to be, I don't know, just rude. You don't have to do that. But you can be kind about it. But you can be very, strict, or very, I don't know, set that boundary. Let's just say that. So you can say, not at this time. That sounds like a really good idea, but the timing's off. Not at this time. I can't do it. You could say, I've decided not to. After giving it much thought, I've decided that I'm going to say no. I appreciate it. I don't know what the context would be, but I appreciate the time. I appreciate the invitation. I said yes initially, but I'm sorry. I've decided I'm going to say no. Simple as that. You could say, I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. Sometimes some of these don't even need an explanation. Just say, I don't want to do that. You could say, this doesn't work for me. Hey, I was looking at this, or I was thinking about this, and this just doesn't work for me. Yeah. You could say, oh, if this is something that you don't like, you can say, I'm uncomfortable with this. Yeah. So you want me, using the example from earlier, you want me to go visit your dying father because you're, too, I don't know what the example was, but just because you can't. I'm uncomfortable with this. It is something that I can't do. I'm uncomfortable. So no. And you can also say, I can't do that for you. I'm so sorry. I know that I'm the person that you come to, but this time I can't do that for you. Notice how some of them, like I said, don't even need explanations, but notice how I'm not adding any apologies. I think I said I'm sorry for the last one. I mean, that just comes naturally, but you don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to apologize. That's what setting a boundary is. You're saying no. And that's all. That's it. Just no. Now, some people, well, yeah, man, last time you did this and last time you did it, man, every time I come to you, you don't do nothing, man. You always come, there's always going to be some extra stuff, but you just reinforce that boundary. That just doesn't work for me. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And leave it at that. Man, but last time you did, I don't want to do that. That was that time. This is this time. I don't want to do that. Not at this time. I can't do that for you. But you gave me $40 last time. I mean, if I needed $40, I can't do that for you. I can't do that for you. And that's it. Simple as that. Now, if it's hard for you to say no, also just blanket no, which is hard to do, obviously, among saying hard. But just saying a simple no also works. Just say no. But there's some other phrases that I gave you instead of just saying no. So it could take a little practice. So it might be a little difficult in the beginning, but then once you get your footing, you're going to be a no machine. You're going to be like, no. When is it? No, I can't. No, thank you, but no. Yeah, but no. You don't get a no machine. And like, I'm there too. Like I've said, I've gotten a lot better. Sometimes it's hard for me to talk, y'all. Y'all will see. But anyway, yeah, I've gotten a lot better at saying no, for sure. But it's hard. So I get it. So in addition to those phrases, what you can also do is just plan ahead. So think about what you want to say or how you'll say it before entering the difficult conversation or situation or whatever it may be. It can just help build that confidence about standing on that no, the firm no. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Hard no. No. Yeah, no. So you want to plan ahead. Use confident body language. So you want to keep that eye contact. I mean, if you're over text, of course, this is not going to work. But if you're in person, be confident. Stand on that no. Make eye contact. Keep that steady tone of voice. Don't be shaky. Well, I was thinking if I did this, then I don't think I can go because I have this. No. So you don't want to be too quiet. You don't want to be too loud. Just keep that tone of voice. Not at this time. I'm uncomfortable with this. I'm uncomfortable with this is kind of hard to say. Even just to myself. but it is a no. So you can practice these and you'll get better at them. So you're going to plan ahead, use confident body language. You're going to be respectful. Like I said earlier, just, don't yell, don't, curse anybody out. Don't be passive aggressive. You can be firm, just don't, just go off the rails. So planning ahead, being respectful, use confident body language, and then compromise. So sometimes you can listen to like what the other person might say. If they're like, well, if I give you $40 the next time and then you can give me $40 or whatever, some type of, I don't know, that's a terrible example, but you get the point. Just compromise. Just listen and consider the needs, of the other person. You don't have to compromise, obviously. But give and take is a part of any like healthy relationship anyway. So expect that to come up as well. So like I say, just practice. Just practice. It'll get better. So this podcast is called Am I the Patient? So this story didn't necessarily happen to me, but it was a story that I witnessed. And thinking back on it, I'm like, yeah, I think she was the patient. So I'm thinking about a time when that particular person was demanding too much from somebody emotionally. So there was an intern where I used to work, and I'm sorry, I'm going to take a sip of water. There was an intern at the place where I used to work, and I'm not going to say her name. Like I said, on this podcast, we're going to keep it a little bit anonymous. Miss R. She was in her internship. She was almost done with her hours. And just a little bit of backstory about counseling. When you are in a master's counseling program, towards the end of your program, to graduate, you have to do an internship counseling under the supervision, obviously, of your supervisor at school and a supervisor on site. So, yeah, she was an intern, and she was very close to finishing her program. However, she went through a really bad breakup. But you could just see the emotional taxing, the burnout, that she was going through, but she wanted to save face, and her job was demanding, of course, obviously, on top of finishing a freaking master's program, also having to be empathetic with clients, you could just see she was taking on that emotional labor. And I believe she quit, if I remember correctly. Yeah, she just up and left and was like, I'm not coming back. Yeah. I think they said she also quit her master's program, which is crazy because anybody who has completed any type of schooling, including high school, college, associates, bachelor's, master's, doctors, how much blood, sweat, and tears it takes to complete these these degrees. So to get so close and just to lose it all, it takes a toll on you. You can develop resentment. You burn out. Man, that's a tough pill to swallow. Deep breath, guys. So, some quick tips. What are 3 ways to protect your emotional energy this week? What can you do right now? I want to challenge you guys to say no this week, even if it's small, because like I was saying earlier, practice does make perfect. So if you practice saying no at small things, you can, or even if you have something big coming up that you needed to say no to, or something that you've been putting off, telling someone like, oh man, I can't come to your birthday party because I don't know, I'm just too depressed and I don't want to. It doesn't, I mean, they don't deserve a reason, but just say no this week. I don't know. Just say no. If somebody asks if you want to donate, I mean, for the most part, we say no. But I know some people have a hard time saying no. Just say no. If you're, I don't know, walking past a solicitor or someone trying to grab your attention, or like, oh my gosh, if you're in like, freaking Target, I literally avoid Target. Like, no, not Target. I avoid a section in Target because I know they're going to come ask me about my internet. And it's so hard. Sometimes I don't have the energy to say no. But if you encounter that this week, just say no. Like, no. No, thank you. No. I'm not going to do that. Just hit them with the, I'm uncomfortable with that. Could you imagine? But yeah, just say no, not at this time. Or I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. Yeah. And then number 2. We're on number 2. Challenge yourself to recognize your emotions throughout the day. Sometimes we go through a bounty of emotions. And sometimes we just don't even know. So do you have that emotional awareness on a day-to-day basis? If you don't, challenge yourself to do that. Check in about 3 times a day. In the morning, in the afternoon, and at night. Check in. What was my morning like? What did I feel? What was my afternoon like? What did I feel? It's nighttime now. What did I feel throughout the day? How am I feeling right now? Just check in with yourself. Do that. Try that. And then number 3, just do something for yourself, no matter how big or small. There's an episode we're going to do on self-care, but just do something for yourself. Take a walk, have a dance party. I love doing that. Put on a favorite song and just dance. I don't know. Journal, if you like to journal. Scream. One of my personal favorites, just go scream. Color. Oh, I love coloring. Go do something. What else? Oh, incorporate just more water or deep breaths during your day. Something as simple as that. Just do that for yourself. So, this week, just to make ourselves more, more emotionally aware, protect our emotional energy. You're going to practice saying no matter how small it is. Challenge yourself to recognize your emotions and then do something for yourself. Because you deserve it. We all deserve it. It's hard out here. It's so hard. People don't even know. So, that concludes episode number 2. I thank y'all for listening. I am just over the moon excited about this podcast. I know that we're going to do some great things. I want to encourage you to like and follow the podcast if you aren't already. Please follow the Linktree or go into the Linktree because it has a link to the TikTok, the podcast, of course, the YouTube channel, and the Google form just for you to submit something to me. And like I said, I recorded these episodes back to back, so I don't have time to see any submissions, but boy, am I looking forward to doing submissions down the line. And that may take time, and that's okay. But we'll get through it. So, yeah. Alrighty, guys, I will let you go. I will see you next week. I don't have episode 3. I don't have a teaser. I don't know what I'm going to do yet for episode 3. But I will say thank you for listening. And remember, you're not alone. And if you do feel like you're alone and you are in crisis, please reach out to the Suicide and Crisis Hotline. You can text or call 988 if you're in the U.S. And also remember that this podcast is just for educational and entertainment purposes only. This is not a substitute for therapy, and we are not giving out medical advice. So we're just here for funsies. So thank you guys for listening to Am I the Patient? And then I'll see y'all next week. Bye.